Hi guys, I'm Trish and this is my fetish. Guess what I've got? This is so exciting. This one is actually for my how to save money on a pension. Kind of relates, kind of doesn't, but I'm going to slot it in there. Are you ready? This is Thelma and Louise. They're two little tortie girls. Apparently tortie kittens are supposed to be devil spawn, but these ones aren't. I'm going to put them down. I've shown you. Oh, they got very sharp claws and they get stuck on me. Don't fall down, darling. Let go. Oh, this one. Yeah. This one's Thelma. And I know that the one behind me, even if I hadn't looked at Thelma and her little white paw and her little white chin, I would know that this one is Louise because she thinks she's a scarf. Girls can go and play. Yeah, they're absolutely adorable. Now, here's why. I just don't want to run them over with the chair because they love the wheels on the chair. Here's why it's a how to save money on a pension, because I am a big believer. No one should have any animals in their care at all unless you can look after them properly, how they deserve to be looked after. So that means taking care of all of their needs. You know, like if you have a dog, needs to be walked every day, you need a big enough backyard for it to run around in. I have a tiny backyard, and with my fibro, I'm not able to get out of the house every day at times. So I haven't fostered a puppy. These kittens aren't mine. I'm looking after them for 4 weeks. I have fostered them. I started fostering, which is a really big deal for me. And believe it or not, a year ago I didn't even like cats. But my daughter moved into a share house and one of the girls there had a cat and he was just absolutely adorable. And I learned through her and this cat so much about cats. And now that I understand cats, I think they're absolutely adorable. So yeah, I'm fostering them for 4 weeks. They're 5 weeks old now, about 5.5 weeks old. So I will foster them until they're 9 weeks old, and then I will take them back to the shelter. It's just a local shelter. And they will be desexed and put up for adoption. And when I drop these ones off, I'll get some more and bring them home, and I will just go in cycles and just have, maybe not kittens all the time because they're a lot of work, they've got a lot of energy. And it works, yeah, as I was saying, I don't believe anyone should have an animal at all unless they can look after it how it deserves to be looked after, and that includes financially. Now, financially, I can barely look after myself a lot of the time. I could probably afford to feed an animal, but I wouldn't be able to afford to feed it like good food. I would only be able to afford supermarket food for it, which isn't really fair. They deserve good nutrition as much as what I do. I could afford to get all the other things, you know, like a litter tray and, you know, toys and all that sort of thing. But the big one that would really get me would be medications and vet costs. And if you have an animal and something happens to it, if it gets sick or it has an accident or something, you've got to be able to afford the vet bills. And I absolutely can't, because that can run into hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And I know you can get pet insurance, but I can't afford the pet insurance either. So with fostering, it costs me absolutely nothing. It costs me petrol money to go and pick up supplies from the local shelter. They have supplied me all of their food, and it's very good food. These cats are eating Hills Science wet food. They're eating, I think it's Royal Canin dry food. I'm not 100% sure, but it's good dry food. They've got good litter. They gave me, and when I run out, I just go back to the shelter and they give me more food, more litter. They gave me a litter tray. I actually went out and bought another one so that I've got one in the bathroom where I'm keeping them and one in the lounge room where I don't want them to wee and poo because I'm still litter training them. Although they haven't used that one, they just go back down to the bathroom. So I'm probably not going to need this one, but no big, it cost me $4 in Kmart. They gave me a bunch of toys for them and a bed and a few towels for them to sleep on. and a carrier to bring them home, and for when I take them back to be de-sexed. It's not cost me a cent other than petrol money to go backwards and forwards, and I don't mind that. And if anything happens to them, if they get sick or, they fall off, if they manage to get up high somewhere and fall off or whatever, because they're cats, these things happen. But if anything happens to them, I either take them back to the shelter. There's vet care there, or if it's after hours, there is an even more local vet that I can take them to, and I just tell them that they're foster animals. I give them their registration number or whatever, and it doesn't cost me anything. So I'm able to look after these kittens, and whatever kittens come after these, at no cost to myself, and still get to have the experience of having pets, which is something I have wanted to do for a very, very long time, but haven't done it because I can't afford it, and it would have been very irresponsible of me. So it's something really good for me, but it's also good for these ones. The reason I've got these kittens is they were surrendered to the shelter on the day that I went in to get my first kittens. They had just been surrendered. And so they took them into the vet there, and they got them all their injections and worm treatments and flea treatments and everything. But they were, they thought they were, it's called spicy cats, spicy kittens, which means they were very shy, and they were hissing and not good with people. But because they were getting vet care, they had to be handled. So they were forced to be handled, because you can't give them vet care without doing that. So I thought I was bringing, number one, I thought I was going to get one cat and ended up coming home with 2 kittens. I got blindsided, to be honest, but I don't mind. And they fully expected that I'd have a little bit of a problem with socializing. That's why I've got them, to socialize them and get them used to being around humans, so that then when they go back to the shelter and they get adopted out, they're already socialized. The people who adopt them aren't going to get a spicy cat or spicy kittens. So I came home, I followed the instructions on how to deal with spicy cats, and within less than an hour they were sitting in my lap loving me. So and I know that's not the case with a lot of spicy cats. I don't think these cats were actually spicy. I think they were just a bit grumpy from, being taken away from their mum, and then, being injected and flea treated and worm treated and in strange environments and everything. But they're absolutely gorgeous. They're just playing now. They play with each other. Just looking, I'm a little bit excited because I might have bought them a cubby house. And they haven't shown a real lot of interest in it, but they're over there now. You can probably see them actually. Where is it? There. I should sit so that you can see them. So, but yeah, so far they've been more interested in a tablecloth that I've got on a chest over there, and the curtains. They like to sit in the windows. They like to climb all over the couches. And in my, you can't see it here, but I've got a cupboard, like a coffee table with drawers that I sit my TV on, and on the other side of it is like an opening. It's like empty. That's their cubby house. That's where they like hanging out. But I've put some dry food treats and ribbons and stuff on their little cubby house to try to entice them, and I only got it for them the other day, so maybe they'll be interested in it. And if they're not, the next lot of kittens I get might be more interested in it. So that's a tip. If you want a pet, and I don't know, because I'm in Melbourne, right? And I know there's a few shelters around Melbourne that do this program. So I don't know what it's like in other states, but you can look up like foster programs online and see what's offered. It's a win-win. You get a pet to love and look after for a little while, and they get someone to look after their animals in a home environment until they can be adopted out. And there's plenty of reasons. I've got these ones to be socialised. Sometimes the animals just need a break from the shelter environment for a few weeks. Sometimes they're recovering from an injury or surgery, or they're sick and they need a bit of extra care. Sometimes they come in stray and they're a bit feral, and they need that extra care to become unferal, I guess, unspicy. And it's dogs as well, puppies and dogs as well. So that's it. That's my really exciting news. It's been a bit overwhelming for me because I've never had kittens before, or not since I was a teenager, and I just don't remember it. I've never litter trained an animal in my life, so it's been a very big learning curve for me, and stressful, because I'm learning over the last couple of days that I really like routine. And having kittens, there's no freaking routine. I'm trying to be routine-y, but it's a real learning curve for me, but it's worth it. So that's it. I'm gonna go and play with my little kitties now.